Let me tell you how to get them stinky ass curls off your hands after y'all eat them. Get you a lemon. And you just wash your hand with the lemon, basically. We smelling like lemons instead of feet.
We're also learning about the 3 victims in yesterday's triple homicide on Indian Summer Drive.
Yeah, so one of those, a 5-year-old boy. Investigators say Eric Ashley, Aria Berry, and her 5-year-old son Landyn Brooks were fatally shot yesterday evening around 5:30.
Imagine a Saturday, a day for parks, for laughter, for family, then silence, gunshots. 3 lives gone, just like that, but why them? Could a simple drive to a park end like this? Aria Berry, a mother, her 5-year-old son, Landyn Brooks, and her boyfriend Eric Ashley Jr., all dead. Shot down at the entrance of Echo Highlands Park in Birmingham. It wasn't a random act, and trust me, what you think you know, is about to get twisted. 3 lives, extinguished in an instant, right there, at the entrance of a park, a place meant for play, a place for happy moments. Aria, Landyn, Eric, their names, their faces, their story, is a story that left a city reeling, a story that left questions unanswered, questions that cut deep, questions like, how did this happen, what kind of monster does this, and most importantly, who was really being targeted? We're about to uncover the truth about what happened on that Saturday evening, but be warned, this isn't a story with easy answers, and it's a story that will leave you questioning everything. Do you think this violence would have happened if they didn't go out that day? What are your theories? Drop your comments below, because I guarantee you won't see this coming. Welcome to Whistles of True Crime, where we unveil the darkest mysteries and the most chilling true crime tales. If you crave real-life crime stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat, you're in the right place. Kindly subscribe to this channel now and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss any of our new stories. Your support keeps these stories alive. Birmingham, Alabama, a city deeply rooted in American civil rights history and undergoing modern economic development, grapples with a concerningly high rate of gun violence. This issue significantly contributes to the city's overall elevated crime statistics, placing it above national averages for violent crime. While Birmingham possesses a rich cultural scene and historical significance, the prevalence of gun-related incidents casts a shadow over its progress, prompting ongoing community and citywide efforts to address the problem. Before the park, before the bullets, there was Aria and Landyn, 2 lives inseparable. Landyn and Aria were 2 peas in a pod. Everywhere Aria went, Landyn was there. That's what her cousin said. Aria Berry was a stylist, a creator, a mother. Ever since we were young, she was fixing hair. She was passionate about hair. Imagine that drive, that focus. She made beauty, not trouble. But her world was revolved around Landyn, and Landyn was smart, too smart. Some said, Landyn would tell you something you didn't even know. 5 years old, think about that. An old soul, they called him. He lit up the room everywhere he went, and on the football field, a pot of gold. He always brought joy, that's what his coaches told us. A light, extinguished, but why? Here's where it gets complicated. Aria was raising Landyn alone. His father, Ladarius Jamiel Brooks, was killed in 2020. A fire, a shooting, 1 parent gone, then, this. Aria, Landyn, Eric, all taken. Could it be a pattern, a coincidence, or something more? Was there a reason, a connection to the past that brought this violence to their door? There's a detail that could change everything, a detail that points to a motive, a detail that points to a killer, but who, and why? What do you think? Did the murder of Landyn's father play a role? Tell me in the comments. We need to hear what you think. And trust me, you won't believe what comes next. Saturday, July 13th, the sun was still high when everything changed. Just before 5:30 p.m., a 911 call came in, not about gunshots, but about a car accident. 1700 block of Indian Summer Drive, a residential street, a place where kids play. But what officers found wasn't an accident, it was a massacre. A sedan crashed into a front yard, riddled with bullets, and there were 3 people inside. Lifeless, 5-year-old Landyn Brooks, his mother, 28-year-old Aria Berry, and 28-year-old Eric Ashley Jr. All dead at the scene. Police arrived to find a scene of chaos. The car was a twisted mess of metal and glass, the air, thick with the smell of gunpowder. Witnesses described a second vehicle, speeding away, the shooter or shooters vanished into the Birmingham streets, but why? What happened in those final moments? Officer Truman Fitzgerald, the first on the scene, described it as a targeted shooting. This wasn't random. This was planned, but what was the motive? What led to this brutal act? And who was the intended target? Was it Eric Ashley Jr., given his past, or was Kia and Landyn simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? We need your theories. What do you think happened? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Because what comes next will challenge everything you think you know.
We're also learning about the 3 victims in yesterday's triple homicide on Indian Summer Drive.
Yeah, so one of those, a 5-year-old boy. Investigators say Eric Ashley, Aria Berry, and her 5-year-old son Landyn Brooks were fatally shot yesterday evening around 5:30. Officers found them in a crashed car on Indian Summer Drive. That's right near the Echo Highlands neighborhood. First responders confirmed they died at the scene. Officers say the driver of the car crashed into someone's yard following the shooting.
We've deployed all of our detectives in the Birmingham Police Department to focus on these 2 particular cases to bring justice. And for those who are responsible for those heinous crimes, I want you to know that we will be coming for you with full force. With every piece of law enforcement that we have, we will be coming for you.
No one is in custody.
The scene told a story, a brutal one. The sedan crashed, but the damage wasn't from a simple collision. Bullet holes ripped through the metal. The car was an execution chamber. But why? Officer Fitzgerald told reporters, some sort of interaction took place between the occupants of the victim's vehicle and the suspect's vehicle. Interaction? That's a polite word for what had to be a violent confrontation. Most of the shell casings were found in the park's parking area, not where the car crashed. That's a key detail, and it means the shooting started before the crash. This wasn't a drive-by. This was close and personal. And here's the most surprising part. We believe some sort of interaction took place. That means they knew each other, or at least the shooters knew the victims. They were targeted, not random. That's what the police said. Targeted, but by who? Why? And how did a 5-year-old get caught in the middle of it? Was this about Eric Ashley Jr.'s past? Or was there another reason? Or could it be something more direful? Trust me, this investigation is about to take a turn that will make you question everything you thought you knew. What do you think this interaction was? A simple argument? Or something more? Tell me in the comments. The bullets stopped, but the pain echoed. Wahoma Park, a place for children, a place where Landyn played football, became a memorial. The grief was raw. He wasn't like a son, he was a son. That's what his coach said. Aria Berry, Kia's cousin, spoke of an emptiness, a bond broken. Everybody loved her. Kia, gone, Landyn gone, but it wasn't just their family, it was everyone. How do you explain this? How do you explain the loss of a 5-year-old? Chloe Rutledge, Landyn's cousin, her words cut through the noise. I've lost a lot of family members over gun violence, and this needs to stop. A child speaking of repeated loss, repeated. How many more? How many more lives before something changes? Because, here's the thing, this wasn't just a tragedy, it was a symptom of something larger, something broken. And in the middle of it, a mother and her son taken. But why? Was this a message? A warning? Or something else entirely? What do you think the community's reaction tells us? Is it just grief or something more? Tell me in the comments, because the next part of this story reveals a connection that changes everything. Then, the mayor spoke, not a press conference, not a prepared statement, a raw, unfiltered message. Don't ride with them, that's what he said. Don't be in the same car, don't allow your children to ride with them. Who was he talking about? It's always supposed to be no women, no children, but y'all don't have a code. A code? What code? A code of violence? His words, blunt and accusatory. The only thing worse than that are the people who are giving safe harbor for those who kill women and children. Safe harbor. This simply means someone is protecting the killers, someone knows something, but who? His message? A warning, a desperate plea. Over the last few years, community members who have credible information have continued to keep their heads down when a child is hurt. It makes you equal to the person that pulled the trigger. Silence, complicity, that's what he's saying. So, what is he implying? A cover-up? A network? A secret? And why is he so direct? Why is he so angry? What does he know? What are they hiding? Because, trust me, this silence is about to be broken and what it reveals is going to shock you. Do you think the mayor knows something? Who is he talking about? Tell me in the comments below.
My mama and my daddy was fighting last night. Yeah, she kicked my daddy out.
What she kick him out for?
Cause he was cheating on her with my auntie. Yeah. I like your hair.
Thank you.
That's a wig. My mama be wearing those.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. My mama stole it from Walmart. She be boosting.
Here's a fact, Eric Ashley Jr. He wasn't a stranger to the system, released from federal prison just months before the shooting, March, 30 months served, for what? Possession with intent to distribute fentanyl, drugs, a dangerous game. This isn't to justify what happened, not to Kia, not to Landyn, they were innocent, but it's a piece of the puzzle, a piece that changes the picture. Was this about payback? Was this about a debt, or a score settled? His past raises questions the police had to ask. Was he a target? Did his past bring this violence to Echo Highlands Park? Was Kia and Landyn collateral damage? Wrong place, wrong time? Or was there a deeper connection? Because this isn't just about drugs, this is about power, this is about secrets, this is about a world few understand, and in that world, lives are disposable. Did Eric Ashley Jr.'s past seal their fate? And if so, who made that call? Who pulled the trigger? And why? What do you think his past has to do with this? Is it a red herring or the key to unlocking the whole case? Tell me in the comments, because the next revelation exposes a web of lies. A web of violence, and it's closer than you think. The clock ticked, time ran out for Kia, Landyn, and Eric, but for the police? The clock was just starting. They had a scene, a puzzle, a killer to find, urgency, that's the only word. Witnesses were key, descriptions of a getaway car, a dark sedan, speeding, but descriptions fade, memories blur. They needed more, they needed hard facts, they needed the car. And they needed the people inside. Evidence, shell casings, blood spatter, every detail mattered, every trace. Were building a case, piece by piece, but time was slipping away. The killer was out there, somewhere watching, waiting. Here's the truth, this wasn't just about finding a car, this was about finding a motive, this was about finding who wanted them dead, and why. This is where the story shifts, where the investigation twists, where the answers become more questions, and where the real danger begins. What do you think they were looking for? A simple getaway car? Or something more? Tell me in the comments, because the next step brings them face to face with the killer, and it's not who you expect. They had a name, Jacorian Deshaun McGregor, 25 years old, charged, capital murder, 2 or more people. That's the charge, think about that, capital. The most severe, the most final. Capital murder in Alabama, that means one thing, the death penalty is on the table for killing Kia, for killing Landyn, for killing Eric, 3 lives, a child's life taken. And someone will pay. What was the connection, what was the motive? This wasn't a random act. This was targeted, this was personal, and now, they had a face, a name, but they still needed answers. This arrest is not the end. It's the beginning of a trial, the beginning of a fight, the beginning of a search for the truth, and the truth is darker than you think. Did they get the right man? Or is this just the first step in a much larger, more dangerous game? What do you think the next step should be? What questions do you have? Tell me in the comments, because the next revelation changes everything again. An arrest made and the city held its breath. Justice, that's the word, but what does it mean? For Kia, for Landyn, for Aria. The grief didn't vanish, it didn't fade, it lingered. Could any sentence bring them back? Questions remained. Why? Why them? Why this way? The motive, it still eluded them. The connection remained a mystery, and Jacorian Deshaun McGregor was just a face, a name, not an answer. This wasn't just about an arrest, this was about a system. A system that failed them, a system that allowed this to happen, and a system that needed answers. Now, was this closure? Or just the beginning of a much longer, more complicated fight? What do you think justice looks like in this case? What questions do you still have? Tell me in the comments, because the next part of this story reveals a truth. A truth that will leave you speechless, and it's a truth that hits close to home. 3 lives, but they weren't alone. Hours later, in the same city, 4 more, dead, a mass shooting, Birmingham, a city under siege, not just one tragedy, multiple. This wasn't an isolated incident, this was a pattern, a plague, gun violence. It wasn't just about Kia, it wasn't just about Landyn, it was about a city bleeding, a city in crisis, senseless, that's the word, useless, pointless lives taken, families destroyed, for what? A moment of violence? A moment of rage? A moment that changed everything. This wasn't just about a shooter, this was about a culture of violence, a culture of death, and it was spreading. Was this the new normal? Were these just the first of many? And who was going to stop it? What do you think is driving this violence? Is it just Birmingham, or is it everywhere? Tell me in the comments, because the next revelation exposes a truth that will change how you see everything, and it's a truth that's closer than you think. Beyond the violence, beyond the headlines, beyond the questions, there were lives, Kia, Landyn, not just victims, people, a mother, a son. Kia was a stylist, a creator, she was passionate about hair. Her cousin said that, passion, a drive, a life cut short. Landyn was an old soul, he lit up the room, 5 years old, 5 and gone. They were inseparable, 2 peas in a pod, that's how they lived, that's how they died together, a bond unbreakable, a love unmatched, and a loss unbearable. This wasn't just about their deaths, this was about their lives, the joy they brought, the love they shared, and the legacy they left behind. A legacy of love, a legacy of loss, and a legacy that demands answers. What do you think their legacy means to Birmingham? What do you think they would want us to remember? Tell me in the comments, because the next part of this story is about the truth, and the truth is about to shatter everything. Their names, Kia, Landyn, echoes in a city, in our minds. They were not numbers, not statistics, they were life cut short. Their story is a reminder, a brutal, undeniable reminder. Violence, it leaves scars, it leaves voids, it leaves questions that may never be answered, but this story is not over, it can't be. Not until we understand, not until we change, not until we remember, and don't forget that the truth is still out there, and it will shock you. Our hearts ache for Kia Berry's family, words feel inadequate, but please know you are held in our deepest sympathy and prayers. May you find strength and comfort in the memories of Kia Berry and Landyn. Thank you for watching. If you crave to see more stories like this, where ordinary lives are shattered by extraordinary events, kindly like and subscribe this channel, turn on the notification bell, so that you be the first to know when we drop our next video. More answers waiting to be discovered. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. See you on our next video.